Good morning, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Classic Album War. Today we're going to kick off the week with two legendary albums, both featuring the lead vocals of none other than Paul Rodgers, okay? The two big bands that he was in the 70s, all right, that he fronted. We got Free, okay? Their kick-ass album, Fire and Water, all right? Their best-selling album. And then Bad Company, Straight Shooter. So this album released in 1970, 1975. This was the third studio album from Free and the second from the supergroup Bad Company. So let's start off with the earlier one. Okay, so this follows, like I said, two previous albums that were not big sellers, okay, critically acclaimed, people dug them, but bands still kind of, toiling in that young band obscurity that always tends to happen, right? Because they were all pretty young. You got Paul Rodgers and Paul Kossoff and Simon Kirke, Andy Frazier. You look at that band now, and it's like that this was kind of a supergroup as it was, right? A very, very good blues rock band. I personally love their debut, Tons of Sobs, which I think is one of the greatest debuts of all time. But this is the album that really broke the band. And, it's amazing how back in the day a hit single, okay, can just catapult an album, which is exactly what happened here. So you got the title track, Fire and Water, really good, just kind of classic rock tune, right? A bluesy rock song. Then you have Oh, I Wept, another killer tune. Remember, Heavy Load. These are just really, really strong, gutsy, emotional blues rock tunes, okay? Mr. Big. Ba-na-na, bam, ba-na-na, bam, bam. Great in its simplicity, right? What else? Don't Say You Love Me. And then, of course, All Right Now, which, a staple of classic rock radio for a million years. Easily the most popular song the band ever recorded. Catchy as all hell. It's got a great guitar riff. Rodgers' vocals are phenomenal. You got that ultra memorable solo by the late Paul Kossoff. Just a really, really strong album, top to bottom. Again, might not be the best Free album. It certainly is the most popular, most well-known, and biggest seller. Excuse me. I personally like the ultra bluesy debut. And there's something that first album is just raw and in your face. This is a little more refined, okay? A little more accessible sound, but still retains a lot of those blues rock elements that made their first album and certainly their second album, so appealing. And it's just the songs are just great. Okay, co-produced by Roy Thomas Baker, a great sounding album. Okay, a classic album. There's the guys in the band right there. Okay, good stuff, right? So, Free splits up. A couple years later. Paul joins up, Paul and Simon join up with Mick Ralphs, okay, and they form the supergroup Bad Company, all right. This is, like I said, their second album, and quite a good second album, I might add. Boz Burrell on bass, forgot about him, from King Crimson. So you got, Mick Ralphs coming over from Mott the Hoople, Boz Burrell coming over from King Crimson, and then you got the two Free guys. All right, big deal. They get signed to, Swan Song Records, Led Zeppelin's label. Big things expected. The debut album does really, really well. They followed up with equally, if not better, second album. I mean, I honestly, you listen to both the first and the second Bad Company albums back to back. That first album is really great. This is really damn good too. It's maybe it's not better than, but it's very comparable, I think. Okay, so what do you got on here? You got Good Lovin' Gone Bad. Okay, popular radio tune, really good hard rocker. Feel Like Making Love, one of the anthems from the band. Okay, it's got that acoustic guitar and then the sledgehammer riffs. You got Weep No More, another strong emotional tune. Shooting Star, another FM rock radio staple, another anthem from the band. Deal with the Preacher, probably the heaviest tune this band ever did. Okay, then you got Wildfire Woman, another really catchy radio rock anthem. Then Anna and Call on Me. Okay, both two really strong tunes to end out the album. Again, the emotional bluesy vocals of Paul Rodgers just at their best. You know, I think that Paul, as great as he was on the Free albums, I think really came into his own fronting Bad Company as a vocalist. He was still really, really young during the Free days, and I think he just really matured a lot during the Bad Company days. So what do I think about these albums? Well, you know, I love them both. They're besides for the Paul Rodgers similarity, they're both very different bands. Okay, I think Bad Company always went for a more kind of commercial arena rock sound. They still retained a lot of that bluesiness, right? Whereas, you know, at their core, Free were a British blues band. Okay, here their sound commercialized a little bit more than in the past, but still retaining all those kind of classic blues influences. So which one do I like better? Well, you know, I love both of these. But I would say more often than not, I generally reach for Free before I do Bad Company. As much as I love Bad Company, I love both of these bands. And I think I reach them for different reasons. You know, when I'm in the mood for some kind of, you know, sing-along, fist-pumping anthems, you know, kind of those tunes with a lot of swagger, those songs that we know so well, I might reach for Bad Company and this album. But more often than not, man, I'm really drawn to the guitar playing of Paul Kossoff, and I love that kind of rawness of the early Paul Rodgers stuff. So I generally tend to like Free a little bit better than Bad Company. So you know what? I'm going to have Free. Free's going to win this one for me by a split decision. Okay? 116, 112, 115, 113, 115, 113. Okay? Or I should have said 113, 115. Or, no, sorry. You get what I'm trying to say. So, you know, it's a close fight, close battle. They're both really good. But in the end, for me, I just like this album a little bit better. I always like Free a little bit better than Bad Company, but they're both great. Okay, Paul Rodgers, one of my favorite singers of all time. The guy's just phenomenal no matter what he's ever done. And you really can't go wrong with either or here. All right, both classic albums for a reason. You know, and like I said, some of you may prefer, you know, if I were to really think about it, you know, we could also do another episode where we put Tons of Sobs against the first Bad Company album. Probably still be the same result for me, but for some of you it might be a little, you know, because I think a lot of people know the first Bad Company album better than any of the others. But this actually pretty damn comparable, I think, because there's some great tunes on here. Great tunes on here. As there is on here. So for me, the win today is going to go to Free, but there's no losers here. It's just an excuse to talk about two really cool albums, why we love them so much, or in some cases, some of you may not love them so much. So put your comments down below. Let us know which album you prefer and why. Remember, there's no right or wrong reason here. We all hear things differently. We all love things differently, that sort of thing. So, yeah. And we'll see what we got cooking for tomorrow, right? So visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Go on our Facebook page and vote. We've got the poll going starting this morning. As of a little while ago, Bad Company was a little bit in the lead, but not by much. Pretty close. All right? So let us know what you think. And I know some of you are going to be saying, "Oh, dude, he wore his Hawkwind shirt today. He never talks about Hawkwind. When are we going to have Hawkwind in a classic album war?" Well, you never know. You may get one soon. So stay tuned and see what happens, all right? So we'll see you again real soon, tomorrow morning, as a matter of fact. Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.